Alright, today we are at Sherway Gardens because there is a sale at Ann Taylor, so Ada's over there shopping right now. But we've also heard there is a new Tesla SuperCharger being set up here at the mall. So we also came here just go check it out, see if it's done yet or not. I saw some photos online that it was being installed, so we'll just drive around a bit with the kids in the car back here and we'll see if we can find it. Just sort of an update here. We got still the loaner vehicle, obviously. It's actually been 3 weeks, but we are going to be getting our car back this week. We've already heard back from Tesla, so that's great news. Can't really move the car anywhere because I don't have the keys. Ada had the key in her pocket, so unfortunately I don't have the keys. So the car's kind of stuck in the mode it is right now, which is parked. But you can see basically over there in the distance, there are the Tesla SuperChargers. So we're actually going to get a little closer once Ada gets back. So we're going to be going to Chinatown today in Toronto. Going to be visiting some friends. So also go check out the area there and see if we can look through the glass roof to go look at the concrete jungle. Looks like they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 14, 16, 18, looks like it's actually a full 20 stall charger here, which is awesome. But these are actually a different design than I've seen before on some of the other ones. It's not the usual type of open center design. But this will be very cool when it's actually open. Where are we going?
To Chinatown.
Cool. What are we going to go do there?
Get some sunglasses.
Ah, I see.
Whoa, look at this. Where is the CN Tower?
What do you see up there, Ashton?
Where's
Anderson,
the
look up.
CN Tower?
Anderson, look up.
It needs to be in the straight line.
Oh, garbage truck. Ah, in the city at night, people collect garbage to clean up the city. That's a lot of garbage, right? Navigate to CN Tower.
So
Nice and calm.
Yeah. That's Union Station here.
This is a train
This is where all the subways and trains, GO trains come in, Ashton, and train stations. Where all the trains.
Where's the subway?
underneath.
Underneath us.
This is
But
a station.
this on the left side is the big station that they have here. So today's last day that we have the Model S. I'm going to be dropping it off later on today so I can pick up our Model X back. So pretty happy about that. So driving to Tesla Oakville right now. Weather's kind of crappy. Traffic's kind of heavy. The concierge service that they have to basically pick up and drop off your vehicle isn't really in effect yet here, especially in Canada, at least at the Oakville location, because they don't have the staff. We've also seen online too that they're looking for service reps for our area, specifically for repair reps as well too. The idea, I think, is that they will eventually have reps that will actually be their mobile fleet that will actually go around to customers to fix their vehicles in their driveways and that type of thing. So it is something that is coming to Canada. I'm not quite there yet. I am primarily using Autopilot on the highway now. With the traffic being a little heavy, it really makes it a lot easier to drive. Really enjoying the fact that we at least still had a Tesla as a loaner, despite not having our own car back. As you can probably tell from some of the things that I've said in the previous video, we weren't fully happy with the Model S the way at least this car was specifically. Overall, I think it would be still a car that would be nice to have if the Model X didn't exist. And I think as well too, for a lot of those commuters out there, this would still be the dream car. So one of the questions I get asked most often about our Tesla is, can the car drive itself to where you want to go? And the answer is, unfortunately, no. There's different levels of automation for vehicles that are out there right now. The Tesla is currently at a level 2, which basically means it can do some of the assisted stuff, can have some sort of intelligence with it, but there's still a huge human element that's needed behind the wheel in order for it to be safe. Level 5 is the highest, in which it's supposed to eventually achieve by having some full driving capabilities. I don't know if we're ever going to get there. In my opinion, the only way that we're all going to have a level 5 car is if all the cars have the same kind of technology behind it and the same kind of logic, so that we don't actually hit each other on the roads. So some of those videos that you may have seen online where the Tesla's basically stopping at stoplights and stop signs and obeying traffic signals, no, the cars cannot do that today, and the hope is, yes, they will be able to do it one day. There are a lot of different companies out there that are working on this technology, including BlackBerry in Canada, as well as Ford, and Cadillac has something as well too, which is only used on the highways. I believe that one's based off of some kind of pre-mapped GPS coordinates, so it actually can only do some kind of self-driving on the highways themselves. Tesla at least has the ability to use some of the self-driving features on city roads, even though it's not necessarily recommended. But all you really need right now in order to do the autopilot for Tesla is 2 clearly marked lines on each side of the car. So why is autopilot such a great feature? Well, I'll give you kind of just a quick demonstration. Obviously, I'm driving on the highway right now. Things are fairly safe the way I'm doing things. We got a speed limit of 100 kilometers per hour here because it's one of the 400 series highways. Now, with the way the car's drifting between the lines, autopilot will only work mostly on the highways when it can see the 2 lines clearly. It will work on some of the side roads as well too, but mostly meant for highway driving. And as you can see, when I drift from lane to lane, you're also seeing that come up as well too. And as well, you can see cars that are in front of you spotted by radar using the technology that Tesla has, so they can actually see 2 cars in front of them, which is great. When we see the steering wheel on the right side, that's when we can actually engage autopilot by just double tapping, and you'll see it disappeared suddenly because it has lost basically the lines on the road sometimes. So things are a little finicky sometimes, especially on regular roads. Hey, now that I have an autopilot engaged, it's a similar kind of like just a cruise control system where you can increase your speeds or decrease them as needed depending on your driving comfort level. I have noticed sometimes though as well too that autopilot can only go it's restricted to a certain speed. I haven't figured out what that is or how it's determined, if it's specific to roads based off GPS coordinates or something like that, but you can basically see that the speed limit here is supposed to be 80, but I can only go up to 90 kilometers an hour. So when I engage autopilot by double tapping, you can see basically, because I'm in the middle of the highway right now, or in the middle lane, you're able to see the 2 lanes on the sides. That would allow me to do any sort of auto steering to change lanes by just pressing the turn signal. But as well too, the car's giving me some sensor readouts on the sides as cars pass by. Since I am driving the speed limit, everyone's really zipping by me right now. And I'll show you basically one of the lane changes here. It'll make sure that things are nice and safe. And as it changes, it's going to automatically pull me in the list lane, and I can just cancel my signal from there. I find with the Model S, it is a much smoother lane change compared to the X, which actually seems to feel like it's a little more abrupt. Not necessarily saying it's not safe, but it's also just feels a little strange that way too. Other options you have with the autopilot are features where you can actually change the distance in which you're out close to the car in front of you, and it'll speed up based off of that distance to make sure that you're not too close. I keep it at 7 because that actually seems still fairly close, and this is just from experience using our other vehicle that has similar technology. Maybe it's just because Tesla can brake faster, it can react faster, but what I do find is when it feels like you're getting really close to the car and you might crash, the Tesla actually doesn't seem to slow you down, or it slows you down at the very, very last moment. And we have the setting on right now to auto brake at the earliest point possible. So it should be braking a little earlier, at least in my opinion too. Now, of course, with Autopilot, because this is only level 2 automation, you need to still be aware of what's happening with the surroundings behind you, as well as keeping both the hands on the steering wheel too. It's not to say you cannot take your hands off the steering wheel. It will allow you to drive without hands for a short period of time before things start to alert you and shake a bit. But what will end up happening is it'll start blinking on the screen to say, you need to put your hands back on the steering wheel, at which point you can just shake the wheel just slightly to kind of wake it up and make sure that you're not sleeping. If there was a feature that I thought that Tesla should add, perhaps with their Autopilot, is if the car detected that you weren't holding onto the steering wheel for a certain period of time, maybe because you might have dozed off, fallen asleep, that type of thing. Currently the car will slow down and it will eventually bring itself to a stop. I'm not sure if it'll actually bring you over to the shoulder if you're on the highway. But another alternative would be maybe, for example, open up the windows, blast the air automatically for you. Something to kind of wake you up if the car thought that you might have dozed off or something at the wheel. So that's kind of a brief overview of the Autopilot features on this Model S. Again, a really nice feature to have, and I wish it was on more vehicles. It's a lot better than cruise control, and it will be something that I'm sure a lot more vehicles out there will have in the future too. So it feels like we're picking up a new car all over again. We got some other vehicles here as well too. These are all for delivery. Nice and clean. Looking great on the sides as well too, which is nice. Now they had replaced the entire windshield, which is pretty crazy. Hoping nothing bad will happen to that. There was a slight scratch here, but looks like it's gone now. There we go. Okay, let's get settled in. Take this bad boy back out. Yeah. I like that feeling. Of course, it's not opening completely because there's a wall right here, but that's fine. Everything looks to be nice and clean in here. He did a great job cleaning things up again, which is nice. I'm going to try testing out that squeaking noise that I had in the middle here. Yeah, it sounds like it's okay. Let's check out this wing here. Well, I guess it's just cleaned since it's dripping wet still. Everything looks to be in order right now, which is great. So finally back in our Model X. Feels great to be driving this again. Too bad it's not going to stay clean too long. It would look really nice when it was in the showroom, all nice and clean. Everything that needed to be fixed was fixed, except for one thing that I had missed previously. I will be getting an email copy of the entire list, so I'll go over some of the things maybe that you guys are interested in seeing. So something kind of weird that needs to be replaced is the glass on one of the windows. Not too sure how, but probably at the body shop it got scratched up pretty good. I'll show it after later on, but it's kind of strange how that happened. So one of the things with the Falcon wing doors, because both of ours had to be adjusted, it's something that's not super uncommon, as you've probably heard all over the place, but it shouldn't need readjusting every so often. That being said, it's not too certain how often it could need readjusting because of the complexity of the door. One of the things that we'll have to just keep on watching out for is to make sure that it's all aligned properly and opens and doesn't have any sort of problems there. Otherwise, very happy with the service of Tesla. The guys there at Tesla, especially in Oakville, they're always giving their own personal cell numbers. You can text them, call them anytime, that type of stuff, which really adds a level of service which I think is outmatched by any of the other places I've been before. So now we can continue our journey with the Model X, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more content going now that we have the car back. Thanks again for watching, and feel free to subscribe and like, and see you guys next time.